Greetings, everybody. Back with another Truthful Rise video. Now, I do realize that the visual quality may not be up to snuff. It's dark in my car, and I didn't want to wait until tomorrow to shoot this because I know I'd have a million other things to do and I might forget. So I wanted to do this while this was on my mind, and besides, it's not so much that you can see me, I'd much rather be able to hear what I'm trying to say. So I'm gonna get right into it now. There's been a lot of talk about the Huffington Post interview that RKelly did that got terse, to say the least. It really got tense there when the reporter was asking him about the sexual allegations. Everyone knows what I'm talking about in that, and how he kind of reacted and all that. And that's not the point of the video, because I can understand why some people had a problem with the reporter and everything. I had a problem on both ends of it. My only thing is, if you're gonna do it to all of those guys. Do it to Woody Allen when you sit down with him. Do it to Ben Roethlisberger. Do it to Roman Polanski. Do it I don't even know the dude from Seventh Heaven. I didn't watch that program, but that's not the point of the video. The point of the video is that since it has been kind of re-brought up, I have heard particularly a lot of black people basically say, I'm summarizing here, that almost in a sense that the fact that these were older teenage girls that he did what he did with, that somehow that almost makes it not very bad, because there's, that, well, if you saw the footage, then you know that this wasn't their first rodeo and all this, and they got money, and the parents took the payoff and all this, basically just sconning this dude. And let me say this, as far with RKelly, when I saw the material in question, I haven't bought any of his music since then. But the crazy thing is that I've been places, like I was in a store a few weeks ago, and they were playing an RKelly song, and I didn't even realize I was bobbing my head. He makes good music. There's no doubt about that, and we can't take that away from him. It's just, when I saw that, I'm sorry, I can't get down with somebody who does that. White, black, purple, green, whatever. You mess with children, because let's not get it twisted. That was a child, okay? Say what you want. I can't get down with you. I can't rock with you. But there's this sentiment that the fact that these girls were older, and that it was obvious, that wasn't their first time, and they got money, that the parents should be blamed as well. And I'm not even disagreeing with that portion, but to somehow rationalize that, to somehow say that, well, she shouldn't have been asking that, and how black people gonna get mad at this dude and all this. The fact of the matter is this: the dude has a history, a documented history of messing with underage children. Period. This is not conjecture. This is not opinion. This is well known. Okay? And just because he can make you dance, or because he's black, because he has a lot of money, somehow we wanna give this cat a pass. I'm sorry. I know that the technical term is not pedophile. I know that it's a little different when you get to a certain age, and I forget what the term is. But if you mess with children, you get no pass from me. Okay? You can talk about the Huffington Post, didn't have to bring it up and all that, and that's a whole nother line of questioning in and of itself. But if you're going to sit here and say to me, well, look at the girls, look at how they move and all this. First of all, if anyone has seen the material in question, you can tell that those girls were undercooked, okay? It is obvious. You could also tell that was not the first time they may have done something like that. And I say this because I'm holding the mirror up to myself, because I said the same things at first. But then when you get past that and you really have to take it to what it is, at the end of the day, whether it was their first, their 1,000th time. At the end of the day, RKelly's a grown-ass man. And as such, he knows that that's not right. I don't have to say the fact that he may have daughters. That's irrelevant. To the point of the matter is, you are grown, they are not. So you are held in this instance to a high standard of accountability because you are a grown man, and you're going to behave in such a manner. And I don't understand how these people can basically chastise people who have a problem with what he did in the past. And you can say that, well, he's on to something different, and you know, he's all about positive, and that's all well and good. But the fact that, you know, the case, the statute of limitations may have run out and all that. But don't sit up there and try to circle back around after the fact and say that it was the girl's fault, it was the parents' fault, and you know, they just gonna bring him around, and you know, what was RKelly to do? It was, you know, underage girl who wanted him to pee on her. Get out of here. That is totally ridiculous. And that's our problem. It's stuff like that fuels some of that ridiculous talk that you hear about rape culture and victim blaming that you hear from some of these feminist groups. And I'm not here to take them to task, because if that's the lane that you're taking, in this case, they're right. It's exactly what you're doing. You are blaming the victim, these children, that somehow that they were at fault and they were the culprit behind this. When obviously, if it's not their first time, obviously they're damaged, okay, from whatever happened. And the fact that somebody could sit there and really say that it's a child's fault from being raped by a grown man or sexually abused by a grown man or an adult, period, is disgusting. And it's wrong. There's a reason why they lock people up for this. You know, you can say they may have consented. At the end of the day, those are still children. And there's a reason why you have to be of a certain age to sign a contract. You know, you may be in business, and someone who's 16, 17 may want to go into business with you, but legally they're not old enough to sign a contract. Okay, there's a reason for that, and there's a reason why grown adults do not go around having sexual relations with children, and those that do get locked up, as well they should. So, you know, I was just really taken aback by the people who were actually, you know, lightweight going to bat for this cat over this. And I don't understand it. I understand that he didn't go to prison or anything, you know. They paid off the victims or whatever the case was. But the same thing happened with the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we don't talk about that. But quite honestly, at the end of the day, I have mixed things about the interview, but that's not the issue. The issue is the fact that you have people actually defending him, and I don't understand that. Whether you know, that's disturbing to me. It really is. But what do you think? Because this video is 9 minutes long, and I got into it and I was rambling a little bit. But I'm gonna end this video. Thanks everybody for watching. It's the Truth Will Rise. Peace and power.